What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. Now, this is a non-fitness video, has nothing to do with fitness, but something that bothers me, and I'm kind of like into getting shit out lately. You know, I'm kind of not into kind of bundling shit up and putting it like just storing shit away and fucking bottling it up. It's just not my thing anymore. It doesn't, nothing good comes of it, and I think that there should be just some discussions, because I think that most people would agree with what I'm about to say, but some people, you know, the old school people like my age and older will have something different to say. So there was a viral video that hit Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, everything this week, which has since been taken down, but you can actually find it some places because I actually watched the whole video. And it's of this mom who, her and her friend, it was something to do with the teacher and the kid that was in school. And it's a kid who's maybe 7, 8 years old. He's kind of small. He's a lot smaller than the mom. And she's like walking around and grabs him out of the cafeteria, like by his fucking shirt, like yanks him. And I'm watching this lady pull him all over the place. I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, first of all, he's not a fucking horse. Like, you're not supposed to steer him. Like, the fact that if you say come here and he doesn't come, first of all, he's fucking either scared of you because you beat the fuck out of him all the time, or he doesn't respect you and he's not going to fucking listen. Either way, it's your fucking fault. You're the parent. So you're getting pissed at him for whatever the fuck he did. Look in the mirror, because that's on you. Kids do shit because fucking parents allow it to happen, or they teach them by not, sometimes not knowingly, by their actions. The kids pick it up and do shit, and then they get pissed at the kid for fucking replicating what they saw, then beat the fuck out of the kid. Like, it makes no sense. It's this vicious cycle that happens, and then the kid grows up or whatever. So she finally gets this kid, and she's fucking whipping him with a belt. Whipping him, like fucking, and I'm not talking about hitting him in the ass. Like, I don't agree with hitting kids, period, for any fucking reason. Yes, I was whooped when I was a kid. Yes, I was spanked. Yes, I was hit with a belt. Yes, I'm 43 and that shit was normal back then. I get it. Just because it was normal back then doesn't mean it's fucking okay. There's a lot of shit back then that was fucking normal that's not okay now, all right? Plain and simple. They didn't even know that much about child psychology back then. But fuck, they knew very little about psychology compared to what they know nowadays, period, for human beings in general, let alone child psychology. And a lot of that stuff was, you know, give them a spanking, give them a beating. Like, when I grew up, it was, you know, a lot of times the kids just played outside, right? Because you were rowdy kids, you had a lot of energy. They weren't in the house like kids are now. Kids now are in the house on the tablets and shit, which you can argue that that's wrong. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how anybody raises their kids, but we were outside. And when we were inside, we were kind of expected to be pretty fucking calm, right? I mean, watch TV, play with your fucking toys, not, you know, run around the house doing shit. Like, if you were like a wild man like that and you had that energy like that, you probably got your ass whipped. You probably got a fucking beating. Matter of fact, when I was a kid, there was a saying, rainy days are days for beatings. And it was like it was almost like a fucking nursery rhyme. And what that means is the rainy days you'd be inside and not playing outside. So more than likely, because your ass is in there acting like a wild man, because you're a little fucking kid and you got all this energy, you're probably going to get your ass whipped for acting like a little kid. That's what that means. So you're a little kid and you get your ass whipped for acting like a little kid. This doesn't make any fucking sense. But anyways, that's just what used to happen when we were kids. And this mom is like fucking getting this kid in this video to apologize to the teacher, but she's whipping him with a belt, like in the back of the shoulder, in the back, and the side of the neck. You can see her fucking hitting him. Now, I felt absolutely fucking awful for this kid. I don't know what he did. I don't fucking care what he did. I was a kid once and I did stupid shit. It doesn't make me a bad person. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up to be a better person because of the ass whippings I got from my family. I grew up to be a better person because I had fucking brains. They're little kids. They don't know right from wrong a lot of times. And a matter of fact, you know, the way that motherfucker whooped his ass, I'm sure he sees some violent ass shit at home, because that was a sadistic fucking beating that she gave him. It wasn't a fucking lashing to let him know that he did wrong. It wasn't that whatsoever. It was a fucking beating. She was in his face, intimidating him, fucking shaking her head and stuff, like nose to nose with him. It was a sadistic display of power. How you can have power over another individual. And I'm not saying that parents shouldn't have control of their kids. Yes, you should control your kids by teaching them. By teaching them as little fucking people. I got friends right now that have kids that have never spanked or hit their fucking kid whatsoever, ever. And the kid is fine, making good decisions, and he actually is a better kid than the ones that are getting their fucking asses whipped. The ones that are getting their asses whipped just get better at doing the shit that they want to do and not getting caught. They don't really learn, they respond to the pain, right? So I see this kid, his mother's dragging him by the fucking collar, picking him up off the ground, whipping him with a belt while she's walking, right? And I'm like, I do not, I mean, it brings back fucking extremely fucking bad memories for me, because I understand that kid's point of view. And I don't think that's what many, I've talked about this before, and I don't think many parents understand and adults understand, especially the ones that got their asses whipped when they were little. They don't understand because they just got used to it. You adapt to it. You're getting your ass whipped. It's a way of life. And now you're fucking, 40, 50 years old. That's how everybody should be nowadays. Really? Think back for one fucking second when you were a little kid. Let's say a fucking alligator jumped out of the fucking water while you were walking. You were scared shitless. Is that okay? No. Do you let the kids that are 5 years old watch fucking Freddy Krueger movies and shit like that? No. Do you let them fucking, put the little kids on a fucking roller coaster 3 years old? No. It'll scare the fuck out of them, right? Like, you don't want to do permanent fucking damage to a kid by scaring the shit out of him, right? So you don't allow them to go to haunted houses at 3 years old, right? You don't allow things that will fucking emotionally scar them, mentally scar them, because they're kids and they are fucking susceptible to being scarred like that. What do you think it is when you pick a kid up off the ground? He's screaming for his fucking life, acting like he's going to be killed, while he's being picked up off the ground by his collar, being whipped with a fucking belt. Let's back up a second. These same people, if you saw an adult whipping another adult with a fucking belt, they'd be fucking completely devastated. Like, holy shit, I can't believe an adult is whipping another person with a belt. Right? Unless they asked to. Like, some S&M shit, whatever the fuck it is. But the bottom line is, you would never see an adult whipping another adult because they punched in they work at the fucking store and they punched in something wrong and they're short $3, right? That would be considered what? A fucking abuse, right? Would it be considered fucking, I don't even know what it'd be considered. I mean, of course it's assault, but the bottom line is, it's ridiculous for an adult to do it to another adult. However, it's not uncommon for certain people to whip the fuck out of their kids. Now, the difference between an adult and a kid is, I remember being that little kid. So I remember what it feels like to be the little kid getting whipped with a belt, which hurts a lot more than your hand, which is why the parents are doing it, to prove a fucking point. But the bottom line is, every time this kid's mother was in his fucking face. She looked so fucking mean. She looked like such an asshole screaming at him the way she did. So we would put him in check. You don't need to do that, putting the kid in check. Matter of fact, whatever the kid did, wouldn't have done if the motherfucker was raising him right. That kid is a reflection of the fucking mother. When she looks at that kid, she is pissed at what she sees because she doesn't like it. However, she's the one fucking raising him, which means she and the husband, or maybe the fucking husband's not there, who knows, they're responsible for that kid's fucking actions, period. I did shit that my fucking parents didn't like. They still took responsibility for it. Like, if I got in trouble, my parents would come to school and said, okay, yes, okay, and they'd look at me and be like, I'm sorry he did that. We'll take care of it. Like, my parents took responsibility for shit because they would take me home, and sometimes you got a beating, but sometimes you got the talking to. And I mean, I personally respond better to talking tos. I'm not the type of kid that you whip me and I'd fucking shape up. You whip me, I would just be fucking more and more timid. You whip me and I'll fucking go into seclusion and bottle that shit up and try to fucking, I'll just be scared, right? I'll be timid, which is exactly what happened through my fucking childhood, right? I was timid rather than being fucking able to be talked to, right? So she's whipping this fucking kid. And I'm thinking, all this kid is thinking is this it? Like, is this the one where she doesn't stop? Like, he doesn't know what the fuck's happening. I mean, I guarantee you, more than likely, he's never been whooped in public like that because they arrested this lady. And I guarantee if he's been getting his ass whipped in public with a belt, she probably wouldn't fucking be doing it right now, which means she would have been arrested before. Which means now, in this kid's mind, he's at school, which is probably a safe place where you don't get your ass whipped, right? She's not just giving him a spanking. She's picking him up off the fucking ground, whooping him, yanking him by the collar, dragging him all over the fucking place. I'm like, holy shit, like, and then just the way she talked to him, like, she got in his face and she's doing this with her fucking face and fucking like, and I'm like, no wonder why the kid acts up. He's acting like a fucking idiot, just like you. Like, that mother's the biggest fucking asshole I've ever seen in my life. I don't give a fuck. It's not even just about the whipping. The way she talked to him, the way she treated him, she acted like he was a fucking peer. She acted like he was one of the fucking girls that she hangs out with at the fucking club or some shit that she was about to get into a fight with, all rocking her head back and forth and fucking getting in his face. I'm like, that's a little kid. That's an 8-year-old. You think they're going to respond to that the way you want them to? Think about an adult. If you get in that adult's face and you do that, you're going to get punched in the fucking face. This kid's not going to hit you, so you know you can act up as much as you want. You can act as wild as you want. You can be the biggest bitch in the fucking world yelling at that kid, and he's not going to do shit back. Therefore, you have total control of him. You're abusing your fucking control over your kid, and you're being sadistic as fuck, forcing that kid to sit there and take that fucking abuse from you in the fucking public. That is not teaching your kid right from wrong. That is not telling him that, well, he did something wrong and I'm trying to explain it to him. No, you're trying to show everyone else, right, that your little rotten kid who's an asshole is not a reflection of you because you're taking care of it. The bottom line is, if you took care of it before, the kid wouldn't even have done whatever the fuck it is he did. Now, I saw the teacher. She was like, fucking this. She was like, the teacher didn't want that shit to fly either. Nobody wants to see a little kid get their ass whipped. But that little kid now getting his ass whipped in public with a fucking belt in front of his friends, getting yanked off the fucking chair. Nowhere is safe for him. Nowhere. So let's say that mother, I mean, what she did in public, imagine what she does at home. That kid's not going to tell counselors or teachers or anybody what the fuck happens to him at home. You know why? Look what happens to him at school now. He's going to be afraid she's going to come to school, take him in a fucking room and whoop the fuck out of him in there. And kids don't realize that you're doing this to try to teach them not to do something that will hurt them, or not to do something, or you're trying to teach them to be better people. Teaching some kid violence by whipping him with a belt is not teaching them to be a better person. It's teaching them to whip somebody with a belt because they didn't do what you wanted them to do. The kid didn't act the way you wanted him to, so you took a belt and whipped the fuck out of him trying to get him to do it. That's making them submissive by violence. Think about this for 1 second. What the fuck did they do to slaves? People are out there yelling racism up and down. This fucking black woman took a belt and whooped the fuck out of her little black son in front of everybody to make him conform to what the fuck she wanted. If that was fucking an adult, or if that, I mean, I'm just like, I can't comprehend how people don't make that fucking jump. I'm looking at it going like, this is fucking ridiculous. It's like, I don't want to say it's a form of slavery, but you're there to raise your kids. You're there to treat your kids a certain way, to treat them with love and compassion and respect and get them to understand. You know, like, you don't have kids. I don't, but I got fucking plenty of friends around me that do, and I'm watching them raise them without beating them. I'm watching those kids get raised like little human adults, or like little human adults, and not little fucking animals or little slaves being whipped into submission when they don't do what the fucking adult wants them to do. Now, some people may go, Jerry, that's an extreme way. You goddamn right it's an extreme way of looking at it. That video is an extreme fucking video that got taken down worldwide. You can barely find that anywhere now because so many people looked at it and was like, holy shit. But nobody's going to say what the fuck I'm saying. People are so afraid to say the words that I just fucking said out loud because they don't want to be considered a fucking racist, a bigot, or this, whatever the fuck it is. You know what? Call it what it is. When's the last time you saw anyone and a fucking adult say, I didn't like that fucking what you just did. I wanted you to do it a different way. And the other person's like, what? And the other person, the fucking person picks up a belt and whips the fuck out of them. What the fuck would you say? What would you say to that person? Would you be like, oh, it's just normal, it's cool? No, you'd be fucking appalled. So why is it okay to do it to your own fucking kid? Well, I made him, I can fucking hit him. That doesn't fucking float anymore, okay? It's not 1950, 1960, 1970. It's 2019 heading into 2020, and we know better now. We know what that shit breeds. That shit breeds resentment, violence, it breeds fucking insecurities. It does the opposite of what you may stop him from doing what the fuck she wants him to do right now. But the problems that's going to fucking cause in this kid's life later on, give me a fucking break. It's going to be fucking appalling. That kid, as much as he's getting his ass whipped right now, it's not a discipline thing. Because it's not this nice mother talking to this kid. It's this thug-like mother in his fucking face, rocking her head back and forth, picking him off the ground, yanking him by his shirt, and fucking whipping him with a belt. You think that shit's going to make him a better person? He's going to grow up to think, you got to get in people's fucking faces to get their attention, to rock your head and fucking and be angry and aggressive, right? Because that's the only way people listen, because that's the way what his mom taught him. And then it's going to teach him, hey, if the fucking person doesn't want to get up from the table because they're still talking to their friends, fuck it, just grab him by the shirt and yank him out, because that's what his mom does. And then, right in front of everybody else, you just pick him up off the ground. He's trying to get away. You don't let somebody run away when they're fucking scared. No, you hold them by the collar and whip them with a fucking leather belt into submission until they do what you want to do. That's what she taught the kid. And I'm like, holy fuck, good. She got arrested. I'm glad. I hope she gets prosecuted. I hope the kid gets taken away. I mean, just from that one thing, I don't know what that kid's life has been like. But if that's happening outside at the fucking school, could you imagine what happens behind closed doors? The things that are said to the kid? She called him the N-word like 4 times to his fucking face. Called him a little N-word over and over again. You stupid little N. I'm like, holy fuck. Now, she's going to fucking tell him that the first fucking white kid that he sees that says that word, punch him in the fucking face. Wait a minute, you just called him that and fucking he couldn't do anything about it. You made him submissive, then called him that, but you're going to teach him that that word is bad? Like, you're teaching him that that fucking word is okay to say. I'm like, fuck, I'm like, I can't wrap my head around shit. Like, it bothers the fuck out of me what people, and it's not even about a race thing. That just happens to be what's going on here in this fucking predicament from this one video with these people. The shit that goes on, that way that people treat their fucking kids, I'm just like, why the fuck would you even have kids? Why have kids if you're like, I'm just going to fucking beat him into submission until he does what I want him to do? What the fuck? Why? Because I got beaten. Think about that for a second. Where did you learn that? My mom used to do it to me. So does that make it okay? Did you enjoy it when you were a kid? Did it help you? Because all I see right now is you being a fucking thug asshole screaming at your kid, whipping him in public. To me, your parents fucking failed if you're doing that to your fucking kid. Plain and simple. Unless that kid shot someone in the fucking face with a machine gun, that kid doesn't deserve any of that shit. I don't give a fuck what he did. I don't give a shit if he stood up in the middle of class and pissed on the desk and kicked the kid in the... Well, no violence, but pissed on the desk and shit on the floor. I don't care. Unless he did something so fucking violent that it's like, holy shit, there's no way that kid should be getting his ass whooped in fucking public like that. Shouldn't be getting his ass whooped like that at all. That was a fucking brutal display of a sadistic individual and someone that can push their power over on a little individual that can't defend themselves. It's fucking sickening. BowserTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. But to FightBusterTraining.com is a blog. It's the bullshit fucking sickening bicep, and we are out.